Wednesday. That means it must be Thursday. It definitely is. It's Groundhog Day. Punxsutawney Phil's been out again, and it's still going to be 6 weeks of rain, because he said that about 3 weeks ago. But anyway, we bring you the news, even if it's later than everybody else, but we still do it anyway. But forgetting all that rubbish, back to the world of sim racing, where everything is always brilliant and wonderful, nothing bad ever happens. Well, apart from when Kyle's driving, but you'll see that after. Tonight is effectively the final, if you want to put it in those terms, of the Expo GT4 cars. And alongside me is the amiable and very able, sometimes according to his missus, but it's Mr. Ratek. Good evening to you.
Good evening, mate. Your intros just get better. Thank you very much for that.
You can't get better than that, can you? I mean, after an introduction like that, you've just got to live up to the billing, really.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just got to happen.
I'll try and not peak too soon.
No, I could answer that as well, but I'm going to try and keep it relatively clean for now. I'll be smutty later, but we'll keep it good. We'll keep it clean. Hopefully the driving will be just as clean as our commentary. Slick, smooth, wonderful to watch and listen to. An absolute eargasm, if there is such a thing. That's just something that feels really good to your ears.
I've added the excitement of a night race as well, so you can see everyone's got the lights on and a different type of atmosphere. You can see the crowd, they're still there, they've hung around.
Have you noticed, though, for those of you that are really observant, have you noticed how socially distant they are to each other?
Yep, they're in their own little groups of family groups there. Perfect.
I wonder if the makers of this game had the foresight in 2017 to know that there would be a COVID pandemic 3.5 years later and actually interspersed everybody. That's amazing. I'm seriously impressed with them for that. I'm sure they probably thought not many people are going to be in the seats watching at this time of year and at night because it's going to be cold. But hey. Anyway, just to give people a quick run through, I know that timer's counting down already, which it is, because it's a 1 hour race. But they're having their quick 2 minutes to do their, well, whatever they want to do in 2 minutes, really, to be quite honest with you, which in my world is a lot. But in their world, they will be doing their setups, making sure they've got some fuel and all that palaver. And of course, they're not going to go off the line at the green light, unless they forget, in which case they'll look stupid. But what will happen normally is they will all get into position, and the positions are determined in the finishing positions from the sprint race on Monday. And I know all those positions off the top of my head. No, I don't. I'm lying. I'm telling Porkies. What I do know is that Kenny will be leading us off. He will be followed by Palm, who did his first race on Monday and did very well, actually, because he finished second. He will be followed by G32 Turbo, and then I think Rock will be in fourth. And after that, sorry guys, I forgot. But it's probably K9, I would imagine, somewhere, maybe even in fifth, until he goes off at a corner. But is somebody in the pit, or is that just us?
It's either Kenny or Kento.
Yeah, what's happened there?
Don't know whether they've read it up in time or what.
Yeah, whether he's been...
I'd say it's Kento, because Kenny is out there in the green car.
Yeah, Kenny and Kyle are the two greenies, aren't they? And then Tony will slot in between them. So chances are then...
Kenny's...
Right. They're doing a restart, aren't they? They're doing a restart to let Kenton in.
Cool.
Did Kento turn up late, I wonder? Or did he...
No, he was in the voice chat and he joined the lobby early enough, but something's just
something's got awry there, hasn't it? Well, if they all retire, don't they? Palm just decided to do a dog nut, otherwise known as a donut, but it's got a G in it, so why don't you say it?
But this is going to be interesting, because the other night it was a full wet race all the way through, and now we're starting off in the dry, so they're going to feel this track in the dry. Whether they've got decent setups for that is going to be a new experience, isn't it?
Well, they'll have a bit more chance to put one together if they haven't. That's one benefit, I suppose. Bit like what Tony was alluding to. I know different people have got different amounts of time to be able to sort of get things together. And so it can be a bit awkward sometimes because it's not just about tyres, is it? Let's be honest. I run no traction control in this game, but if I'm in the wet, I'm running traction control. So there's going to be certain, you might want to raise the ride height of the car in the wet as opposed to the dry. Little nuances like that. Kyle just said, Kendo, you need to ready up quicker. Look, it takes longer than 2 minutes. You should be proud. But oh man, at least go on.
It's sometimes like on this game you can be it's so intent on just getting the setup or getting your pitch strategy.
You forget where you are, don't you?
And then next minute you think, oh, I've only got 10 seconds, but then to save it and get back you just haven't left yourself enough time, have you?
Because you haven't got the counter on all the time. You haven't got the timer on all the time. So when you're in the setup screen, obviously you're not aware. It should be on there really, so that you are fully aware of what the time is all the time. Because it's time sensitive, isn't it? So, but he might have also had the issue that I get sometimes. I don't know if other people get it, but with the right 2 button. It's either from the accelerator being slightly twitchy, or if you're using a controller, which 1 or 2 do, but you might touch that, and you start inviting people, and obviously you can't ready up because it's just busily trying to invite, Uncle Tom Cobley and all.
Yeah.
And that's happened before. That's really, really annoying when that happens.
But I do believe in the rules of race base, how we run our leagues, is we're allowed 1 restart.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's due to.
What is fine, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's just like if you look at athletics, for example, that's probably the best analogy to use. What they used to do was there is 1 false start allowed. Doesn't matter who does it, but there's 1 false start allowed. After that, so if you false start the first race, it's okay. If I then end up false starting the second race, I don't get a second chance. I'm done. Because otherwise you could be there all bloody night. Nobody's got off the start line yet. So, you've got to. I know some people are moan. People are moan about whatever it is, whatever you do, because you can't please everyone all of the time. However, what has to be borne in mind is that people have lives. Not much of them at the moment, but people do have lives, and they have other things, other demands on their time, etc., etc. So, we've got to try and respect the many, not the few. There you go. That's me just muting that as it comes up on my screen. So you've got to go to to the majority.
Also, I mean, I don't know whether some of the guys know when you're actually out in the race, you can scroll down in your pit menu window that you can bring up, can't you? And you can actually change things there as well, like your tyres and stuff, can't you?
You can make a couple of subtle changes.
Yeah, it's tricky to do because you're that intent on, you could do these tracks with longer straights.
That's one thing that's annoying in this game. It disappears if you don't touch it for about 5 seconds.
It does, yeah. Could do just being able to lock it there while you're making adjustments and stuff, because I can't do it on corners. I can't do it when I'm fighting.
I could do it in ACC. I could do it in ACC, but you do it in this game. I mean, all it is for me is like, that 7-way funky switch type thing. I just flick that up and it comes up. So obviously I can go straight into change strategy, change this, and you're there in that. And obviously you've got to press it once for every one you want to move it by.
Yeah.
And it's a pain in the bottom.
They nearly caught me out as well because we'd reset. I nearly forgot to put the track map up and the speedo.
Oh no, it disappears all the time. I know. I do that between qualifying and races. I'm awful at doing that. So we got what we would call the magnificent, it's the magnificent 7 minus 1, or you could have the dirty half dozen. That was when they were small.
Good shot of all the lights on coming through there. I think
they're all
this
flashing.
It's going to throw up some nice shots because of it being lit and a little bit darker in areas. Like coming through now, a little bit darker. But...
This is true. And hopefully nobody can hear any sort of noise in the background. I don't know if you can hear any noise in the background, other than me.
No, I can't, no.
Good. Because my fridge, my little mini fridge at the side of me, has just decided the fan at the back's just decided to make a noise for the first time ever.
All good, mate. All good. So
I'm just giving it a bang anyway. That's how you fix things in this world. If in doubt, give it a wallop. And it usually either works or breaks completely. Anyway.
I actually started a car today. I turned the key, nothing happened. I banged the dashboard and it started. 100% truth, that, mate.
Yeah, who needs an alternator? Just think how much money you'd save. You don't have an alternator, you just sit there and punch your dashboard a few times. It's better than a choke.
That's how I fix things. Charge the customer and send him on his way.
I mean, but, imagine if some of the cars in these games had a choke like my Escort used to have. This lot wouldn't have a clue what they're doing with it. Cold starts, trust me. Pull out the choke and flood the engine. Anyway,
right,
we are
time to get dialed in.
Yeah,
Kenny's setting the pace on this warm-up lap.
Yeah, said it was going to stick around sort of 60-ish mile an hour, 100k-ish.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't do it around corners.
Epic to join us in that second place, so he's going to be looking to
he had a good race.
Try and make a move, I reckon, on Kenny. I think why not?
Yeah, there's always going to be. You've always got that chance, haven't you? It's always
G32 always solid performance, especially in the endurance. I always feel that he's
the longer the race, the better he does.
Yeah,
for Tony, to be fair to him, and I'm sure he'd agree with that sentiment. I'm the same. Sprint
K9.
Races, it takes me a while to dial myself in.
K9 back there, he's going to be looking to improve on a couple of positions. These guys are going to go side by side, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to
go formation.
So they should basically be staggered as they would be as if they were on the grid. So Kenny will be sort of half car ahead. I always think, as much as the inside line is the pole, I always think the outside is better. So they should have gone. Yeah, there you go. You can see on the speedos and hitting that. So Kenny got a good start. I think they all.
Tom just runs a little bit wide.
I think Kyle just managed to get a start on Tony there.
I think so.
Or did Tony just back out?
No,
being turn one. I think, you know what, discretion may have been the better part of Valor there, and I think he might have just backed off. And just
think so too. Yeah, he's gone for the long game, which it's an hour endurance. Why not? It's.
Look, I know Tony's history, trust me. If he's watching this later, he'll know. He'd probably think, 100%. I know what's going through his mind. Because I do the same thing a lot of the time.
But see Kenny trying to get some heat into them tyres, so obviously cool temperatures.
I mean,
a lot of fuel on board there for Kenny. 117 litres.
He must have started with a full tank. Full tank's 120, I think, off the top of my head.
Right.
So that pans out, pretty much.
K9's running a lot less, 96.
I don't know what these burn. I've got to be honest, I don't know what they burn a lap, but it's not...
Palm's gone for a full tank.
I mean, how many laps are they going to do? A rough lap was about... Oh, God, I'm trying to remember.
79 there from Roy. So is he going to have a splash and dash at the pits, or...?
Could do, because, again, it all goes if you're intending to change tyres. If you're intending to change tyres... Why? Unless the weather changes, obviously. So there would be the potential. Yeah, he just went a bit wide, didn't he?
Yeah, he regained that well. Yeah, that could have ended dramatic style.
He did smack a bit of dirt on the way in, didn't he? To be fair, but he held it. But,
so K9's jumped up into second place now.
Yeah, he's got a good start. He got a good start off.
Is he reeling Kenny in a little bit? Because obviously he would have dropped a little bit of time, battling with the other guys. So
might have done.
He's looking hungry at this stage, isn't he? Is K9 there?
Because I also think like Kenny will be doing the sort of thing that I always profess to want to do. Doesn't always work, but basically for the first 3 laps, it's going to take 3 or 4 laps before everything's optimum by a million miles. And it really does take that long. Even though the game graphics will tell you this, that and the other, it's a load of you-know-what. It's not true at all. It takes at least 3 laps for everything to get to the optimum window. Because a lot of the time you'll find, if you do, say you do a 10-lap race like you do in the sprints, lap 4 or 5 will most of the time be the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah. Roy was just showing his nose coming down into that heavy braking for that hairpin.
Yeah, he was just having a look.
You see Tony just had a bit of a litter up.
This is the cold weather. Again, if you're going to do spins, you notice they're always early. Most of them are early, unless you're fighting for position with somebody, in which case sometimes you lose a bit of downforce and he goes. But other than that, again, look at all the lap times, really. Not a lot in them yet.
No, we're all pretty close about there, and obviously Kenny just dialed in a 152. This one's going to be, I feel, a little bit quicker, I'd say.
Yeah, they should get. I mean, the one thing that sort of ruins. Roy's just lost it. Oh, did well there. Did well
Kento's
to kind of like
curtail
it a little bit. Just does a bit of rapid grass cutting.
So the track's still looking slippy, even though there's no wetness, no damp on it.
I mean, it's just going to be really cold. It's going to be more the tyres being slippy than the track. They'll be struggling to get warmth in these.
Yeah.
They'll be really struggling to get some heat in them. I mean, Pal's flying at the minute.
Yeah. He's not too far off the back of.
Yeah, I'm expecting that to be a fight. Barring mistakes, that should be quite a decent fight, I think, on paper. I know they're on tarmac, but it should theoretically be.
And then you've got the weather change coming in later on through the race, so it's who's going to have a good pit strategy and tyres sorted. And I know I've made a few pit stops where it's forgot to change my tyres, probably because I forgot to tell it to.
Yeah, I know, it's a pain in the you-know-what when that happens. Oh, 2 blues. Oh, Roy just lost it.
Is that Roy again? Yeah.
I think Kento went wide. Roy kind of followed the same line.
That's Kento.
Was it?
Oh, no, that's Kento.
Yeah,
right.
Another 2 blues were together. That's what I said. We got 2 oranges, 2 greens, and 2 blues. It's like pretty much synchronized come racing, not come dancing. It's like they'll all start ballroom dancing. No, maybe not. That'd be a bit weird, even for us. It'd still be weird. But yeah, Kenny's times now 47s and 48s and 49s. It's just the heat's getting into the tyres. It's going to make a big difference. That's why the early laps, really, you know what? Even if you lose a bit of time, better off losing a bit of time than spinning. Because you'll lose more time by spinning. But it's a long time to go. You know, we're not even 10 minutes in.
That's a curb that can always really drag the car out wide. It really does upset the car sometimes, yeah.
But the other thing as well is if your rear tyre goes slightly off the curb and onto the dirt, see Kenny, I think he lost his rear left then. And I think Kyle had the same issue. So it'll be interesting to hear what they've got to say afterwards, but my take on it is that they will really be struggling to get heat in these. I really think they'll be struggling because temperatures will be, from the centigrade perspective, probably in single figures. In the Fahrenheit perspective, probably looking in the 50s, I would have thought. 40s, 50s. It's got to be cold, hasn't it? It's in the middle of Germany in the middle of the night in February. It's bloody cold. I don't care what anyone says.
And you can always tell as well. I mean, we can't really see any brake temperature glowing.
No.
The brake discs aren't glowing. That's normally when you can. I always help moderate the tyre temperature if I get the brakes glowing nice and hot.
Yeah,
and you can
just see the nice round glow inside the tyre wall.
Yeah, and I think it's a track that doesn't really emphasise like heavy braking because
it's quite fast, isn't it? It's quite a fast
heavy
track.
braking in one area, and then you've got a nice flowing area. But
Kyle
holds on to it.
Well done.
Regains that. It's a good.
He did that same place as Roy did. That's the same place.
So just showing that even on a nice cambered corner like that, it's looking slippy. He's obviously got a bit of dirt on his tyres at the moment.
It's like if you look at the track, if you see the track itself, you can see. All right, I just had a special guest there for about 3 seconds. Brutus the Bulldog. Hello, Brutus the Bulldog, who's now going outside. But that's another story. I just wondered what was going on.
Kento's got in front of Palm here. He's sending it into that corner. Had a bit of a drift going into there. So
I think Palm's going to be struggling with the.
He's got damage as well because he's got a headlight out, so he's obviously just either clipped a.
He's trying to be a motorcycle to see if he can go faster. Oh, Palm! See, if you notice, everyone's losing it there, and if anyone got a fluttering of bats, then.
I did hear that.
That's actually. I've got a Ring doorbell, and
all right,
and that is the sound when it detects motion. I forgot about that. And then you get a very weird laugh when they go out into the back garden, so you might get that in a minute, so sorry about that. I forgot about that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very weird sort of haunted laugh, but hey, we have these.
Just got to check in on... Oh yeah, I can hear that. It's like the Rocky Horror Show, mate.
It is. We have such weird doorbells in our house, honestly, we're weird. But yeah,
Palm, just checking in on Palm's car. It doesn't look too damaged other than that headlight.
Yeah, you can't see much, can you? But
aero doesn't really look too distorted. So
no, I'm trying to look.
It could even just be a track marker or something like that. Whoa,
that's not going to help. Oh, that's going to give it damage. That definitely is not going to help. Watch out, watch out.
And then
that's got to be suspension. That's got to be.
Yeah.
I think you need to pit next lap, matey. And I'm sure he will. I'll be amazed if he doesn't, because that's got to be some serious suspension damage. And he might as well go in and get it done now, which gives him 3/4 of an hour to try and make some pace back on people. Problem is, of course, if it then rains, you go pit again.
Yeah, he's diving for the pit, so he's got to get that repaired. Yeah,
he's got to. You can't keep going with that, man. He's obviously going to have some serious suspension. And I mean, if you're going to hit it.
Puts Roy up into fourth place after that half spin, spin that he had before.
Yeah,
so the real gainer at the moment is Kento. He's come back from, I think he started on the back road, didn't he? Because of his... I think he disconnect the other night or quit?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, didn't finish the
race 2.
Kind of sprint race.
You had a bit of a nightmare, didn't you? In the rain, him and was that the second race? Or was that the first race? Oh, you know what? I'm confused already. Ignore me. I've slept since then. Whatever.
It was I think it was Mark, QWERTY, and Tony in the road cars, and Kento in this class in the sprint races. That
two things in one night. It's too confusing for me. It's way too confusing for me. It's like two things too many.
I'm surprised myself that I can remember that far back, mate.
It's like when I sleep, it's just a complete memory wipe, and you wake up the next morning and go, "Oh, it's the first day of the rest of my life." There you go.
But
Kenny's pulled it out. It's 10 seconds.
Yeah, Kenny out in front, and he always just seems to be like 1 second in front of anybody else's lap time. That every lap time that K9's done, Kenny's been about 1 second quicker.
He's just keeping that. Basically, I think what he did at the start was probably what I said to an extent. Waited 2 or 3 laps really to get some decent temp in the tyres, if at all, to at least try and get something. See, he's still struggling there.
Yeah,
that rear end is going every time.
Still fighting it.
I still think those rear tyres are blue. I still think the fronts are probably aquamarine at best. I don't think they'll be green in any way, shape or form.
I reckon there's a little bit of fog coming in as well. Now it's gone a bit hazy on the screen.
It's come rolling in off the coast. What coast? Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't matter. We don't need coast for fog. No, it's James Herbert's fog, and he's brought it with him. If you don't know who James Herbert is, get some literature done. Google it. You can do that these days, can't you? Anyway, was it Stephen King who did that one? I can't remember. No, it was James Herbert. It is now, anyway. But Kyle's disappearing into the fog, as is Kento, Kenny, Roy, G32 Turbo, and Palm. Oh, there we go. We could just about see Kyle. We couldn't for a while. We just saw some lights. I didn't realise that actually rhymed, didn't it?
Yeah, that shot there is just...
Well, we can see lights followed by lights with lights coming up somewhere behind them, so... Yeah.
And they were actually on a different straight. They had another series of corners to do at that point.
It just looked to be the same, didn't it?
Yeah.
Nearly lost it again there.
It's running wide a little bit. Obviously, even this fog is just going to probably drop the temperature a little bit more.
It's going to be freezing fog. Lad, it'll be right pea super.
And just, I don't know whether it does start making the track a little bit more damper. Yep,
it will
nice
do.
Set of headlights there, but we'll switch to someone else.
The track's going to be damp. Obviously, the amount of moisture that's in the air.
Yeah,
it's just going to change. It really should change the whole physics of the car. It really should change the whole handling. a bigger degree than you probably give it credit for. But that's what I just think. I just think they're really struggling. If you end up, that's apart from Kenny, who's just doing.
I don't like this. Has just suddenly changed because that pit straight was lit up before.
I know, but it's now like.
Who's taken out the lamps? Who's hit the lights? Was that when Palm?
Probably Palm. He probably smacked it. You think you couldn't have done all of them, surely? Couldn't have done them all in one go.
Or whether it's because of the fog setting coming in, it's actually restricted some of the light.
It could have done.
You know what I mean? It's changed the setting.
Or they could have moved it from Germany to South Africa, and they could have load shedding.
Load shedding, yeah.
So there's no electric.
Because this is a lot darker now on the stream than when the first few laps.
This is definitely. Yeah. I can't see damn all. To be quite honest. It's Roy's to go. Oh no! Oh. That could be
not
a bit
too much damage, a little bit of aero, but not any suspension.
Here comes Tony. I think Tony knew he was there, so I think Tony went wide anyway, just in case.
He ran it wide just to make sure.
As these two sets of lights
position.
Disappear, appear, disappear, appear, and then appear, and then disappear. It's like looking in your rear view mirror driving down the road at 4 a.m. and just see some lights. Other than that, you haven't got a clue. But at least there's a battle going on there.
Right,
Palm's going to be way off the pace at the moment because of the pit stop. But, I mean, he would have been in there for quite some time, unfortunately for him, because that must have been some serious suspension damage, which would have cost him. But he might... Roy might have had some suspension damage from that little bump. He certainly would have had front aero, but he might have had a little bit of suspension, but it might not be that bad. It's one of them where you think, you know what, can I drive? If I can still drive, then I'll carry on. Other than that, it's not that easy. But it'd be interesting to see when somebody else pits what the time span is that they're in the pits for, because it takes longer than you think.
I was going to say, I think Roy, he just seems to be struggling a little bit. So whether he has just picked up that little bit of suspension damage, he's running wide, or whether it is a dramatic change in temperatures now,
a bit of both, probably.
Yeah, and the tyres just really are dropping off. So, I mean, like, at this stage, would it be worth diving into the pits, getting
fresh boots,
your wets on? Everybody knows it's going to be wet. Wets are going to heat up quicker on a dry track.
Problem is, if it takes a while before the rain does kick in, I mean, it's supposed to be half and half, and it's supposed to be 50-50, but usually, if anything, I've always known it tend to start earlier. If I'm doing endurance racing and stuff like that, it tends to kick in about 4 or 5 minutes before what the allotted time slot would be if you did it exactly on the nail. So, you know, if you're thinking you've got 3 weather slots in a 1 hour race, you're thinking 20, 20, 20, but it ends up coming in about 18 or something like that. So it'd be a gamble. You could, you could, in theory, do it in the hope that the tyres are warm, so you get a bit of an advantage for a couple of laps, but they don't overheat. That's the gamble. You'd want it to start raining before you got more than 3 laps out of them, I think, because I think the track is a bit damp. So if you were off the racing line, theoretically speaking, you'd be hitting all the damper parts of the track to sort of preserve the tyres.
Yeah.
Whether that works quite that well with live track is another thing.
I think Roy has regained himself because he just seems to have just...
Yeah, he's got the composure back.
He's caught up a little bit onto the back of Tony now, quite rapidly over the past few corners. Although, as he coming out of the darkness into the light, it does show the gap a little bit more. I
can feel a Metallica song coming on.
Yeah. It's what you do in life, isn't it? You just could go from song lyric to song lyric.
It is. Exit
I tell you what we're going to do.
Night.
As the trackside camera is not all the best when they go into the darkness, what we shall do, let's go.
It'd be funny if we still can't see him. It'd be hilarious.
Let's go in a cockpit. I tell you what, we'll go with Roy because then he's got G32 in front.
It's a decent view. It reminds me of the old Gran Turismo cockpit now. It's just a black shadow on it, if you remember. If you can remember that far back. I mean, you might have still been an amoeba then, but.
You forget. I'm not a wee little nipper, mate.
No, but
I may sound like one, but I'm not. And I am in my head. But he's got some age in him. Bless him. I've been around for a week or two now.
Aye, lad.
But I mean, like normally in the daylight as well. I like that when you can see the steering input on someone to see how smooth they are. And Roy does seem to be, quite a smooth.
He hasn't got a bad driving style. To be fair, he's riding the curbs in this game. It's really not done.
Plus, he is using a borrowed wheel or a stolen wheel.
He's still got that, hasn't he? We never found out what it was, did we? If it was the same sort of wheel. I assume it wouldn't surprise me if it was like a G29, because it's probably the most popular one out there, unless his son has decided to spend some serious bucks.
Oh, to see Tony having a big moment there.
Did he save himself or did he hit it?
He did. He saved it. Well, he glanced the wall, side glanced the wall, so he might
get away with that. To be honest,
might have picked up just a bit of front right.
The way the damage physics is in this game, I've always done the same thing. If I know I'm going to crash, I try and turn my car sideways. Oh, sorry, that was gone into Tony's jet. Right. I just weird then for a sec. But it's like sometimes you'll get, if you like front impact, rear impact, as you know, it's like death. But if you manage to do a sidewall, it's as if you hardly get any damage at all, if any whatsoever. So you might have got away with nothing, or very, very minimal aero if he's slightly, gone in. But if you can hit something smack on the side, you're not doing bad. It's one of the quirks of damage physics in this game. But I suppose you could argue if you're in a car and you hit something side on, then probably got more chance of continuing, haven't you, than you have of hitting it front end.
Yeah, just while we're on board with these, just a quick recap is Kenny's out in front, dialing in the 148s there, nearly 148.06. Yeah. So I mean that's decent. 149 there from K9, so he's not too far off the pace. But
to be fair, he's done a lot of 49s. Oh, Tony's still struggling with a bit of front end, but again, I think that's as much the track as everything else. I mean, these cars are pretty grippy. They're pretty good. I like these cars to drive. They're lovely to drive.
I found they have more grip with a heavier fuel load. Once the fuel goes light, I really struggle in them, and with that wet weather coming in.
I mean, they're built around a full tank, aren't they? I know I've probably said this many, many times, but every race car's built around a full tank for the balance. But they must, when they're looking at it, look at all the...
braked himself a little. Rain's coming in as well.
Yeah, it's just started.
I don't know what snow that.
I don't even know what the time progression is, because that's a big factor in this. Because if you're looking at get your teeth in, Scott. Have another go, lad. Right. If it's a case of normal, times one. If it's a case of real time, then you could stay out for 4, 5, 6 laps. But it won't be that. I know it won't be that. I forget what it is, and that's something I suppose we'll find out for the next one. Because it does play a lot into it. You might end up, if it's like times 6 or times, to mimic it, a more of an endurance length race, or times 3 or 4, then within 2 laps, this track's going to be piss wet through, to put it blunt. And then that's how I got caught out before. I got caught out when a few of you went in the pits, and I thought, nah, I can do another lap. But because it was on times whatever, I got halfway round. It was like I might as well have been in a paddle boat.
I was just about to say on that, I think I must have been commentating with K9 at that point, and there was you and Kenny were the last ones, and I think even Kenny stayed out for another lap after that.
Yeah, and it was like...
And it really caught him out, but luckily he had that much lead.
He was still fast enough to win. He could have gone round with a set of flippers on, and he would have won.
So I think he's probably going to dive for the pits now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Roy's already gone, but to be honest, I think Roy needed to go anyway. So I think Roy just needed an excuse to go. See, it's getting heavier already. So this is like the multiplayer is on relatively high. I think it's got to be at least times 6 or times 5.
Got no spray coming up yet, but
no, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still what you'll get here. Again, the elevation of this track, like we alluded to Monday, the elevation of this track differs quite a bit. Yeah, he's going in.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to dive in now, and especially with the cooler temperatures, you've got to get them wets on as soon as you can.
To be honest, if I'm anyone, and I go off it a lot, I will usually look to pit when Kenny does. I'll usually follow him. The only problem is if I go past and he's like nearly a lap in front of me.
K9's diving for the pits.
Yeah, it's sensible. If Kenny goes in, you know, you don't ignore the best driver. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. The undisputed, probably most proficient driver amongst the group goes in, then you're thinking, am I going to be able to handle this track if he's not thinking? See, you got quite a lot off Kenton's car there coming round the corner. There was quite a lot coming off it there, and again, I don't know whether that's just the lights flying off his wheel, but it gave quite a lot. Yeah, he's going in as well.
Diving.
I'm sure Tony will come in as well.
I was going to say,
Powell
Kenny's already
obviously he's going to lose some time because he will. Well, literally, I would imagine he's just gone in and literally just put a set of tyres on and in and out. That's what you want to do as quickly as. But it'll be interesting. Yeah, Tony comes in. They're all going to come in, aren't they? Let's face it.
So Roy already pitted the previous lap.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how close to Tony he is.
Let's check on Palm here. Let's see.
Now, I'm assuming he put a normal set of tyres back on, a normal set of...
There's no indication on this game, is there?
Like, I know, that's what annoys me.
White wall on his car there does seem to stand out compared to the other guys.
It does annoy me. I mean, if you get a real close-up in, like, you can have a look at the grip that's on the tyres, you can have a look at the tray.
Right, no, Kenny's are yellow, so
you saw it then when the lights come on.
Yeah. And then palms were white, so yeah, I think that's a indication.
So white must be dry
wet.
then, is it? White's dry and yellow's...
Palms staying out.
Fair play to him. That could be. Man, did he say he's relatively new to the game or not? I don't. I mean, he's pretty quick, to be fair to him, but I don't know his history. Offhand, I don't.
The trouble is we had a couple of new guys turn up, and I don't want to get kind of mixed up with who does what. I think Palm does do a bit of.
I think Reno does more of F1. I think off the top of my head.
F1
and ACC, but I might be wrong. Feel free to correct me if anyone thinks I'm wrong, because I'm never wrong. So I'll be right. So you'll be wrong in correcting me that I'm wrong, but I'm right. If you get that, right? Exactly. Meanwhile. I'm trying to unconfuse you by confusing you not to be confused about being unconfused. But that's enough of that. Anyway, it's raining.
Tom doesn't seem to be struggling too much.
No,
if he has, unless he did change onto the wets before.
I know,
but they're white to me, and Kenny's was definitely a yellow wall, writing on the wall. So.
That one thing would help massively. Now, if we didn't set up a stream and do it in a broadcast suite in the proper way, and you just go and spectate from the pits and still use obviously the cameras and the views, blah blah blah, you'll get the tyre graphic up in the top right corner.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, which is stupid.
Hang on, right.
We're halfway.
Tony and Roy all close together on track. Kento's made a mistake there. He's diving for the pits again.
Right, okay.
So Kento's had a massive... And he's got a yellow wall on his tyres, so we're presuming he's on the wets.
Yeah, so why did he...
He didn't hit
anything, did he? Or did he?
Well, we might have missed it on his outlap previous bit further, because he's lost a lot of time. Yeah, because
that might have been that might have been why he then lost it on that corner.
Yeah.
Because basically any damage will be exacerbated by... See, now they must be changing they must be fixing damage, because when he lifts that up, when he lifts up the lollipop or tyre change, but I can't see.
See, G32 is what tyres looked white as he went past, so I don't think there is relative kind of like information that's coming from that, if you know what I mean. It'd be nice if it was.
Because you'd like to get something. Yeah, I mean, that looks white.
Yeah.
That looked white on Tony's.
And then Roy's yellow. You look at Roy went past then. Go on trackside of Roy.
There's more of a yellowish tinge to it.
It should be blue, you see, for wets. That's what
I
know from F1, really.
Well, that's what you... Basically, there should be a universal, and there probably is in motor racing. You know what, I've never even thought of it before, but there's bound to be a universal colour code.
Is it yellow?
That they're all going to follow.
There's no... I don't think there's any...
I wonder if yellow and white are going to differentiate between like hard, soft. Have you got that option with these?
I mean, you got hard and soft.
We will have. Of course.
But nobody would have chose hard and soft.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Even I wouldn't. Many different sort of people, you know.
Even I wouldn't. Not because it's. If it was middle of summer, yes, that's exactly what I'd do. But if it's cold weather, then it's softs all around. They're not going to wear enough. You get round a set of softs, round somewhere like this.
So let's have a look. Right, Kenny's out in front, and he's on apparently yellow wall tyres. Well, yellow writing on his tyres.
Yeah, and then so we'll see Kyle's now.
Yellow again.
You could see from there, could you better?
Yeah, man, I've been to Specsavers. I've got 20/20 vision.
Yeah, you got eyes like a somewhere rat. Hence the name rat.
Yeah, man. G32. He's on the white.
Yeah,
apparently.
You're using sonar,
Roy,
aren't you?
we know he's on the yellow.
Like a bat using sonar.
Can you not see them?
No, seriously, can't. I can't see.
Right.
I can't see anything. I can see the white on Tony's then.
Yeah.
As the light came out.
Yellow on Roy, and then even Palmer's on white as well.
So is it just by the car? Is it just?
I think the
colour coordination.
The game hasn't kind of dialed that one in.
Yeah, which is a bit silly. It's a racing game.
Just kind of it's just kind of going on livery.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, we got a bit of white in this car, so we'll have white to go with it, and this one's got a bit of yellow in it, so yes, let's throw a bit of mustard on the tyres. But yeah.
So this is really, really kind of like thrown it round at the moment. So Kento had moved up into that third place, and now he's dropped down into sixth, and he's in the pits again.
Yeah, there's something going. You know what might have happened? He might have gone into the pits, not thought about changing tyres. I don't know if he did. Excuse me, I don't... See, we can't look at pit strategies. All these things would be, from a commentary perspective, they would be just like brilliant info. You know?
Yeah.
And the game has that info in it. Because if you're driving, you've got this info. So if you're driving and that info is there in telemetry, why the hell can't we access it? It just... Hey.
There's someone just... Oh, that's Kento coming out of the pits. What's going on there?
Yeah, he's got no lights.
that motorbike has just hit the wall. But...
Yeah, Roy is now invisible. Apart from his rain light, which is on.
So
but nobody can see him.
Up into third now. So I think Palm's feeling quite comfortable. What's happened now? Where are they gone? I was going to say that, but Palm's...
I'm not sure what happened there.
G32? And was that Kento coming out of the pits?
I'm not sure what happened there. I haven't got a clue.
Right. I think G32 and Kento have had a coming together, and Kento had just come out of the pits.
So he should have yielded, really, technically, if that was the case. If it was that,
I couldn't really see it, to be fair. So it's hard to say, but...
I don't know whether I can go back ever so slightly on it.
It's a shame that this.
And obviously, with the weather being as is, then that's not ideal either.
Yeah, I think this will be highlighted. Something to maybe avoid in the future is the fog and the rain.
It's not a good mix, is it?
It's just kind of made the visibility for the commentary crew very
bloody difficult.
Yeah. No, never mind the drivers. You know, it's up to them. They want to go out there and race, they can race. But for us commentary, we can't see what's going on, and this is difficult.
Well, we can just see like lights, and then when they go past us, we can see whose car it is, because we've got the little, apart from the graphic at the top of the screen that tells us who's who, we haven't got a clue.
Yeah, I know.
To put it, not put too fine a point on it. So at the moment, I'm just trying to watch it back a bit as well. But yeah, that's where I see Roy crash. So we've got that part then, obviously. And then, I don't know what happens after that. I'll have to wait. But at the moment, it's working nice.
We'll see what it's like from K9's point of view. I think you get a better visual of the track.
You do, from here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can see how much it's chucking down. This is called light rain, people. Yeah. Believe
light
that.
Rain at night. It's the Star Wars effect, really, isn't it? It's,
yeah, not half. Definite one on that.
Just running off the track, but not too... You can hear the throttle ease off as soon as he goes off track. But I think even K9 will be cursing his random weather wheel as we go for a nice spin. Half spin, avoids the wall.
Yay. And then spins around and decides, I can see loads of lights, I have no idea which way I'm supposed to be going. In fact...
Where's the track? Where's the track?
Yeah, where is anything?
We're back on.
And he just gets a nice straight now to just try and generate a little bit of pace before... Okay.
Another one.
But that's the problem. I mean, normally it's a case of you've just spun, so you've got excess heat in the tyres, so therefore you're struggling for rear-end grip. Whereas
CG32's dive for the pits as well, so whether he's picked up, it'll be that damage after him and Kento having that.
I was trying to look back at it, and oh my God, he's not. I just thought, I bet Tony was thinking, I'm going to come out of the pits and get leathered. I just know that's what he's going to be thinking. But I don't.
So maybe that's kind of like what happened between Kento and G32 was like, you know, one of them come out. Well, Kento was coming out of the pits, whether he lit it up and the back end's just gone, or even Tony's just come round, and we'll be able to confirm that later. But obviously,
it's a struggle, isn't it? And you know what? It might have been a case of in the dry you might have carried on. But in this, any little bit of damage is going to be really exacerbated, and it's going to be massively exaggerated.
Right. Hang on. So we've got to go back now. Palm and Roy are swapping places.
Yeah, they're pretty much... The thing that I find...
Roy made a spin.
They were swapping places.
He had overtaken Palm, but he's just had a spin himself.
I bet you he's overtook him, he's carried too much into the corner, he's got heavy on the old brakes, and in this weather, that's a no-no. It's really, I don't. I mean,
it's like something I would do. I'd overtake someone and then say in my mind,
he's got massive suspension damage. He's got massive suspension damage.
Pulling. But I mean, like you could even see this with K9 before. He was any amount of power coming out of the corners.
It's like, and you know what? He's got no lights either. And without being funny, that's not going to be fun, because I know there's little lights at the side there, but they're not giving him any out whatsoever. I mean, but it's hard enough. Fair, it's hard enough me looking at me telly. But
what you've got to say, right, is this is dedicated sim racing.
Yeah, because that's how it would be.
Everyone drives on a dry track, sunny conditions, tyre temperature's good.
Yeah, everything's perfect.
If you want real life racing, well,
you do, don't you? That's why it's called sim racing. It's short for simulation racing. G32.
No, hang on. I can hear someone behind. So it's Kenny has caught up Roy, I think. We're on board with Kenny.
Yeah. Is that G32 though, or is that Roy?
Yeah, that's Roy.
Yeah, Machuca. Yeah,
Right. Or Kento.
Yeah, it's got to be Roy, isn't it? Because it's running around looking like it's got damage. Yeah.
Roy is just.
Nothing's
more gutting than seeing a car drive off as easy as that. Kenny's making this look.
But in fairness to Roy, he's just struggling.
As I say that, I've cursed Kenny.
Kenny's
He's
just
gone
got
for a big spin.
He's oh, look at the puddles in that. He's just hit a reservoir.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see all the puddles coming up then. You can see all the water splashing up from there, so there's got to be some serious puddles.
We'll stay on board with Kenny because we know how competent he is at driving, and if he's struggling like that...
So it'd be interesting to see if you can see where the puddles are, if we do a lap with him, and see where...
Roy's dived for the pits. G32's in the pits.
Is he?
This is a bit of a pit for just left. He'll
right,
be
sorry,
on the
right.
right here when...
As Kenny comes around, is it?
On my screen.
Well, the next car's just hitting the turn 2 now, so if that's Tony's car, it could be. It's quite possible. Yeah, Kenny's taking it easy now, isn't it? see how with the throttle. I mean, you're using the throttle to slightly get around those corners.
Yeah.
But look how it's slipping. I couldn't get the word out. If you notice how his throttle was slipping then, he's just trying to feather it a little bit until he gets some grip, because it's really, really struggling. This is going to be a tough gig between now and the end of the race. I really think.
Well, we're in 17 minutes of this.
Yeah.
These guys have... everyone's going to have a few more spins and moments.
Oh,
you can't race this and not...
Well, look at Palm. Palm was dead in the water, 10 minutes ago? Forgive the pun, but he was dead in the water 10 minutes ago. He's third now.
Yeah.
And his last lap was 6 seconds faster than Kyle's last lap, assuming that Kyle had a... That's K9 for any of you that don't... Oh. That's G32 having spun, I think.
Think so. We'll recheck. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right there.
And he's got a Spider's webby windscreen, so I'm assuming...
Not on my screen, but on yours, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
over, not on the left-hand side, not where the steering wheel is. If you look right over to the right-hand side, as the windscreen wipers are there, he's going to be going in the pits again. He's got,
on my screen. I know that this is one of the things of the game. It'll show you.
It's in the bottom right, just where the speedo icon is. Between the speedo icon and the track map, is Spider's webbed.
I can see that on the stream, but it's not on my screen.
You can't see it on your screen.
No.
To give you a clear view, of course. So,
what are you all struggling with? It's sunny on my screen.
It's a beautiful day. There's bathing beauties everywhere. No, it can't be. It's just Germany. No.
Who's he catching up with there? Because he's catching up rapid with someone.
Roy? It's Roy who's
need
behind.
To see a colour.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Kento? No, Kento looked like he's just...
Looked like he just came to a dead stop at the end of the
Yeah, looked
corner.
like he was accelerating. Roy's G32's
Who's he behind?
No, so it's not them.
Kenny?
Oh, Palm. We're on board with him, and he's having a off-track moment.
Yeah, he's doing a bit of off-roading.
Spiderweb on my screen on that one. And that is G32 going past him.
So,
because they're in the same colour car, aren't they?
So has he just unlapped himself? I'm assuming. Maybe. Or unlapped himself for 1 or 2, because all the timings are all over the place. So at the moment, according to me...
he's unlapped himself, I think.
Or unlapped himself, but he's still a lap down, or something. Because according to me, Kenny's got a minute on K9, who's got a further 50 seconds on Palm, who's got a further 32 seconds on Roy, who's then got a minute and 3 seconds on G32, on Tony, who's then got 15 seconds on... I don't know where it came from then. I'm just watching the replay. I'm just watching the replay of him coming into the corner. Yeah, he gets no grip.
Full credit to the guys for sticking
hard,
this out. This is hard. It's a challenge. It's a survival challenge.
Yeah.
Least damage, keep it on track, keep it pointing the right way. Doesn't matter how slow you go.
Yeah,
you'll
just
make
try
up
and stay
positions.
just try and stay on the black stuff.
Oh, Palm, just a little bit too much throttle, I think.
But
coming out of the corner.
It's probably the reason why everybody is spun. That's the only reason why anyone spins. They're not spinning under braking per se. that if you notice, it's always on the exit of the turn, not the entrance.
K9's got no lights on mine.
No, he's got no.
On mine?
Oh, yeah, I think he's got one.
Has he?
Yeah, if
he's got nothing on mine. I'm driving in pitch blackness.
Are you? Right, there is definitely light in front of his car. Definitely.
Right.
Yes, okay. He has definitely got lights.
You'll have to nudge me because that's what the stream sees. So if we're following a car that's in pitch black, driving rain, pitch black, and you can't see anything, let me know. But
and it's stupid that we're both seeing the different thing. That's crazy, isn't it? That is crazy. You know, we're in a parallel universe. In yours, in your universe, it's nice and sunny, and everyone's flying around in cabriolets. And in mine, it's peeing down with rain, and everyone's struggling to stay on track. But it's I for me, I would say yes, it's a test. You know, and it is a test. It's a challenge, and in that respect, it is fun because it's a challenge. But it's in other ways it isn't fun because it's bloody hard work and you're knackered at the end of it.
It's hard work, but I always find that races like this make you better in the drive because people that aren't used to this counter steering. Yeah,
you learn. You have to learn.
And obviously in the dry you have to have a quicker reaction than what you'd probably do in the wet, I'd say.
Yeah, but in the wet you've got to be more prepared for the unexpected to happen.
Yeah, and a smoother kind of like reaction, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you can't be too herky-jerky with this thing.
No, not too aggressive.
Because if we look at it
I mean, I'm no pro, but that's how I kind of like think about the game and and
it's the right way to think about it. It's like I say, without harbouring on about my own ailments too much and sounding like it's some frigging sob story. I know exactly what to do. I can advise other people what to do because I know what to do. But unfortunately, physically, I can't do what I know what to do.
Yeah,
but it's
a struggle.
You know, I can't say how good I would have been in this game because this game didn't exist 5-10 years ago. I would have loved it to have. I might have done myself some justice back then. But you never know, do you? You don't know. It's like saying, would Ali have beaten Tyson? Would Sonny Liston have beaten? Who knows? You can't compare eras, can you? So my era was better anyway. So. So, yes, that's my mature bit for the day. But anyway, we're just approaching the last 11 minutes. So, to a certain extent, we're sort of into the last sort of 20%-ish, give or take.
Jump on board with the leader, see if he has any more moments.
But you can tell the way the car's moving. You can tell how he's steering. I mean, that's not Kenny's normal MO at all. And if you look at Dan, I don't know if you can see if your screen's as wide as it shows mine, but if you're looking at the screen there, we've
had a moment.
I was just about to say he's just touched the curb. He's just done a Vettel because that's where is that where he is? It is.
This next corner. This was one where Vettel went off.
Yeah, he just rolled,
went straight on into there,
and then banged his helmet on his car. That must have been painful.
And I cheered. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. But, no.
Yeah, but a little wry smile across your cheeks, and also your face.
He's diving for the pits. He's diving for the pits. So
he might as well.
It's got a minute and 15. The last I saw it as I think
there's going to be a bit of damage here to fix.
110 there.
I reckon he'll come out with about 20 seconds.
K9. Oh, K9's reversing out the wall, so he
might be joining him.
Yeah, he's blown any chances of reeling in massive gains.
That looks like right side suspension damage, or is that just because?
He's not even straight steering.
It looks
wheel
as if he's.
straight,
I can't see the steering wheel, so he's counter steering to the left. I just caught sight of the centre marker, which is black on a black fucking steering wheel. That's my first swear word today. Naughty me, slap on the wrist. But a black marker on a black steering wheel, really? Come on, people. Let's have different colours.
It helps you centralise it, doesn't it? But
yeah.
I mean, this all depends on how long Kenny is in the pits for, because
he's got to be
if
in
he's
there a
picked
while.
up damage sometimes, and then you've seen
there you go.
pits.
That's your
thrown
answer.
up mistakes, so he's back out. So it hasn't been too bad of a pit stop for
like
him.
I go in the pits and they lose my clutch. Kyle's got a pit. Kyle's got a pit.
Yeah, he's got a pit, so there's no advantages there. But meanwhile, looking at the other guys, Roy now is up into third.
I know, that's what I mean.
There is a car right by him. I'm just trying to find it. It's Palm.
Palm's
now,
just
and Roy side by side. They're having a battle, and this is brave. This is brave. Oh!
Now, has Palm gone into the wall, or has Roy just gone wide? No, Palm's gone into the wall.
Into a wall. Yeah.
He's just passed the bloody pits, hasn't he?
Yeah, He's
got to do a full lap now. He's got to do a full lap, and he battered. This is going to be like drunk drive simulator for a lap. It's horrible because I've done it enough. God, haven't I done it enough? So, coming up on the back of him, will that be Kenny? Behind him? Not sure. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, you're on Ken. Oh no, sorry, no. Sorry, I was looking at the white dot, not the.
Hang on.
Yeah, Kenny's. I don't know who's the white dot then?
To be fair, I haven't got a clue where anybody is or what's
going
on here.
Well, the white dot's just crashed, so I reckon it was Kyle. I've got a funny feeling it was Kyle.
Yes, because that's changed.
Yeah,
to
it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So, obviously,
what's the white dot mean?
He's on the same lap. He's on the same lap as Kenny.
Right.
So,
okay.
Because he won't be for too long if he keeps doing that.
But that was on quite a shallow corner on the track, and that's just aquaplaned.
There's no real pace in that either, or he wasn't
going. Dare I say it? That just sucked him off.
Don't matter what you dare say, he just did. He just sucked him off, and he ended up all wet. Oh dear! What time is it? What time is it? It's 19:08 here in the UK. That means it's after 9 o'clock in South Africa. We're 8 minutes past the watershed, guys. Thankfully. But no, this is my arms would struggle with this. All jokes aside, I would probably have a problem trying to finish this because the amount it'd take out of me, it'd be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can see how these guys are struggling, and these aren't conditions that I'd like. I know in the road car I enjoyed it because you can throw, you can chuck it. Yeah, how this car reacts, I would not enjoy it. It would not be in that window for me.
With the road car, the front end grip is great, and the rear is nice and loose, so it's like driving a rally car, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
it is very much akin to driving a rally car, whether that be rallycross or standard stage rally. But it's the driving style is very much with that. Is he going to? I thought he would have pitted. I thought he would have pitted there.
I think he's just hanging out there. He's just keeping on track. Everyone's making mistakes. I think he's got pretty much a comfortable enough.
He's got a minute and 10.
He's still doing a lap time. No, slower than.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's got a minute and 10. He's got a minute and 10 to. He needs to go and pit. He needs to.
But then there's only 5 minutes to go.
I know, but he's got a minute and 10 on Palm. He'd come out with fresh boots on, and he's not going to be able to drive this car for the next 5 minutes and stay in front of Palm. I don't reckon. I reckon this lap now is going to cost him about 20 seconds of his lead. Yeah. I really think that. See, look how slow he's having to navigate them. It'd be interesting to see what Palm catches him up with.
Hang on, so we've had another position change while we've been chatting here. Palm.
Yeah, is up to third.
He fell behind Roy before.
Yeah.
And we saw him have a heavy contact into the wall. Now Roy is behind him.
He's got Spider's webby windscreen. On my screen, anyway.
Yeah, it's clear as a bell on mine. I don't know what you're struggling with.
Brilliant. Yeah, it just goes slightly across. It goes on my graphic. Oh, it's going to go slightly more in a minute.
Slightest bit of power in Roy's car, and he's really twitching all over the place.
But I think if they're trying to run with a bit of damage and not pit because there's not long left, I actually think that's a mistake. I mean, normally you're going to go, there's 5 minutes left. I'm not going to pit and waste a minute of the 5 that's left. But when you're doing that all the time, you think you've got to navigate I mean, no offence, he's not trying to cut that. He just can't
It
navigate
just can't
it.
steer, and the back end just went let loose again, didn't it?
If he doesn't go into pits in here, he needs. I know there's literally hardly any time left, but there is no point not pitting. You've got a minute. He's got a minute on Tony. He's not going in. He's not going in.
I mean, never mind Kyle getting sucked off once. Roy's getting sucked off every corner.
Lucky lad. The rest of us are paid for something like that, but no, never mind.
And technically, what I mean by it is the water is aquaplaning.
Yeah, exactly.
And
in truth,
it
it
just feels
sucks.
like you can't do anything. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's you can't do anything about it. You know, minimal throttle inputs and stuff like that. It's short shifting as well, and
you've got to. You don't want. The reality is, in a perfect world, you'd stay in like high revs of every gear, so that you're already in the high revs of the gear, so you haven't got the potential for wheel spin.
Yeah.
In low gear.
Just check on G32. He's looking spiderweb on. No, that's still Roy's. Spiderweb on G32.
Yeah, on the right hand side. Yeah.
It's clear on my screen. I don't know what these people are.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Are struggling with. And then Kento.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think G32 was just. See, again, they're just struggling to get this car around.
Yeah, just trying to keep it on track, aren't they? Kento seems to be travelling a little bit quicker, but...
Yeah, either he's being foolish or... I mean, you've got Kenny and 5 red dots. Which means basically, he's lapped everybody. But hey.
Yeah.
Kento's going...
you can say it. He's been sucked off as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And now he's taking drugs because he's on the grass. And who's that that's gone past?
That would have been Kenny going past the way that he went past.
Yeah.
Look at Kenny now.
Yeah.
Compared to everyone else's on board that we've been with.
He's just gliding now. But he's not trying to thump it. Look at his speed. He's not... If he's getting up to speed, he's doing it gradually.
The curb, though, for his braking.
Yeah, that was a bit... But if you notice, look at how slowly he's going round the corners at 27 mile an hour. It's like not taking any risks. And the acceleration is... He's kind of, he's trying not to break into the corners. He's trying to glide around them as much.
So
I mean, you can't on this, but
that we mentioned at the start of the stream was the fuel load that everyone was carrying. We know that Kenny had a full tank, and he's down to 20 litres.
I know, which seems.
So K9, he must have put some in at the pit stop.
Yeah, probably unintentionally. I'm assuming. He's got 41 litres.
I don't know, because he did go out with under 90.
Oh, did he?
Litres,
he ran out quite light, didn't he?
And with these spins and stuff, I know you're not using as much on fuel load overall on the track, but with spins and reverses,
you'd think in reality that you'd use more fuel in the wet because of the excess tyre slip. You would think, wouldn't you? Palm's struggling here to hold this.
It was a good save, though. It was a good save. He let straight off the throttle.
Especially this, I mean, don't brake, for Christ's sake. That's the worst thing you can do. But unfortunately, sometimes your foot heads for the brake and you go, no, I don't want to brake. Because you just know that's just going to send you into a tailspin.
Yeah.
It's not good.
So apologies to anyone that might have, watched this video later back, that this isn't the normal... camera image that we do, but
it's the only one you can see a car.
It doesn't work at the moment. The other way. So
it's far too foggy and a little bit boggy, as you can see. The only way we can actually see is when we're in the car with somebody because they've got lights. Well, some of them. Now, Palm's thinking, which way am I facing now? That way. Yeah, that's it.
So
as Kento hits the pits.
And Roy has dropped a little bit of time off Palm, hasn't he? So he's
got
at the moment he's not going to be hounding him for a thing, but a couple more mistakes from Palm and
Where's Kenny now?
Oop. Where's Kenny? We're on board with Kenny, so he's halfway through that lap already.
Yeah, and
so we'll stay on board with Kenny.
Kenny will win it. Kyle should retain second because he's got best part of the minute on Palm, and then Palm's got like 20 seconds on Roy. That's about the only chance that anyone's got of swapping Tony's 55 seconds off Roy, and poor old Kento has really died. I think he's stayed there. I think he went in there and thought, you know what,
yeah,
I can't get around. I don't blame him.
You're not going to gain any positions. No. You're not going to gain anything. You're still going to
stay
get
in the lobby.
Yeah,
just stay in the lobby and get the points. It ain't the easiest. I don't know what those black things are that we're driving through every now and then. They're probably ghosts of square boxes.
Just see Kenny catching up with Roy. Yeah, that'd be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Roy's. He don't want to do another lap, does he? He's got sense.
No. Good sense.
You notice that the rain has stopped. Has it stopped raining?
Well done to Kenny there. He's taken the win.
Yeah.
Made it look easy. And
he did flash his lights.
We've seen him have a couple of issues, but still at the pace. Whoa! I can't see what's going on here. I've got no lights on this screen.
I think we should pull him over, partner. I think this guy's pissed. It's just like...
He's coming around, so he's
maybe had some smelling salts to bring himself around. That was like proper drunk drive simulator. So that's, to be honest, that whatever finishing position you've got in this race, it's been hard fought and hard earned.
Yeah, it's been a credit to all these guys. I'm glad I've been watching, and I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I'd rather watch this than drive. I got to be honest, no, it is still raining because I just caught some then in a light.
But Palm now, he's going to finish in third, and this has been such a switch round because I swear at some point he's been last and he's been up to third, and Kento was in third, and it's been.
I can just hear Ronan Keating in the background saying, "Life is a roller coaster." That's what came into my head when you said that. Because that used to be such a joke on TV programs. They used to just bring it in every time. This race is a roller coaster. You just got to ride it. Yeah, exactly. Credit whoever the songwriter is with those words, but Palm must be getting to the end and thinking, "Oh my God, I can't wait to get past this finishing line." Just go in reverse, mate. It'd be quicker.
No, he's back on track. Full credit to him. First endurance of this, and he couldn't have been thrown more in at the deep end. So
it was very much a baptism in every sense of the word, wasn't it?
Roy's already finished. G32, he's gone over, and Kento did come back out.
Oh, well done. He won't get to the finishing time though.
Full send.
Yeah, I think he was trying to...
it right around the end. He's probably had more grip round the outside rather than using the racing
and then try and put the throttle down, and then I think he probably knows he's out of time. So you see all the water that came up then when he... It's like driving through a flood. Well, yeah, I don't think... See, again, look at all the lap times. I mean, 47, really 48, close. 49, 50, 251s. It's not a lot. Considering it's a smaller grid. It's not a huge spread, in all fairness. I mean, the biggest jump is from Kenny to anyone else. 1.4 seconds.
Yeah.
In all fairness, which is just obscene. You need ballast and a banana in your tailpipe next time out. But it's like, it is one of those where you think it's not the easiest. I think that was a real credit to everyone who raced. And if you notice, there's no surprise that everyone's got an S license. And all of those guys who like to race in a safe way, it's become a very, very difficult gig for them. And that's trying to keep it safe.
That's full credit. I mean, they're all really competent racers, and that just proves on how difficult them conditions were. But if you don't experience them conditions, if you don't race in them, are you a proper sim racer? I don't think you are.
You got to race in everything, haven't you? You've got to race in everything. Yeah. I've done monsoon in LMP1s, and that was ridiculous. But I mean that was proper ridiculous. But hey ho, it's there to be tested, isn't it?
It was good racing. Shame we couldn't see half of it, but
we imagined we'd seen it, didn't we? We tried to imagine. What you could honestly say from this race is, I have seen the light.
Yeah.
Apart from people when they crashed, when there was none. But hey, as James Hetfield said, enter night, exit light. Yes, those immortal words are sung, and I'm not singing them, but they are sung. And on that happy note, we're going to leave you and we're going to go to Never Neverland. So, but not with Michael Jackson, but that's somewhere else. Anyway, have a good evening, everybody. Enjoy yourself. Yeah. We'll see you next Monday when I hope it's not peeing down with rain. Because, actually, no, I don't care.
We're back at Hockenheim for the Rallycross.
It's Rallycross. You know what? I don't care for the supercars. It can rain as much as it wants because I'm going to be commentating. But for the lights, I'm going to be driving. So I want it to be nice and sunny and nice and lovely and everything. But it won't. Anyway, have a nice weekend, people. Stay safe. Wear a mask, especially if you're ugly. But other than that, enjoy yourself. Have a good time. See you soon. Good night.